Happy Feral Monday. I don't know if you can tell a difference. I can tell a difference. I got the new phone and this is front camera. Look at the detail you're able to see. I don't think I've ever been able to see my pores or the broken capillaries with front camera. And I'm so excited. Now, just like when I talk about makeup, even though this is the newest iPhone, blah, 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 I only have this because this is what I do every single day. If I did not film makeup tutorials for educational purposes and I wanted you to be able to see all of the makeup, the texture, how everything looks, I would not upgrade. So do not feel any pressure. I do not upgrade this to be trendy or any of those reasons. I upgrade so we can see makeup. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to upgrade, let's upgrade, but I just don't want you to feel pressure. I do this for educational purposes. And I know I already got a DM. Y'all want to ask which one I got. So whenever I upgrade, I always get whatever the number is, which right now it's 16. And then I get the Pro Max because of the camera. So one of my friends here, her name is Sarah. She wanted me to do this look, but she doesn't have a shimmery red, so we're gonna figure that out together. Now, hopefully she has a red eyeshadow. I didn't ask her that, but I'm assuming that she did. Also, there's gonna be a little bit of a disclaimer, but let me get out of this to give you the disclaimer. So with red eyeshadows, almost all of them are not technically eye safe. So do keep that in mind. Now, it's not that your eye is going to just run away, but what can happen is it can stain. The red in there can cause sensitivity around the eye, and the eye area is just so delicate. So I do want to put a disclaimer. As an artist, I take these risks. These are risks that I take for my art. But I always want to make sure that you know that some things technically aren't eye safe. And I just want to be upfront with all of you. I could get so artistic and do so many fun hacks, but I get afraid, like even putting blush on your lips, it's so pretty. Do I do it personally? Yes. Would I film that? Probably not, because I want to be very mindful. I'll show you here in the stories, and I show you because I feel like we're very close. You can DM me. I just feel like it's a family here, but if I do like an actual reel where it would go to people that don't know anything about what we do here, or even how thoughtful we are about one another, that it could just be bad. So I don't want to put that out on such a large scale. But all that to be said, just be mindful. If you want to, you could do a little patch test. I just want you to be mindful, and I'm going to do it. And I've done it before, and I've never had issues. I've been doing it a long time. So just always keep that in mind. Sorry about all of the ranting, but I truly care for all of you. So the first thing we're gonna do to help with staining, this is gonna help so much, is you're gonna get a liquid eyeshadow that completely dries down. Now we do want this to match our skin tone. Doesn't have to be spot on. You can see this one isn't spot on, but we want it to kind of be in that realm. Oh, this looks so good. The front face camera makes me so excited. I love being able to really see what's going on here. And I feel like the last iPhone didn't really upgrade much in terms of the camera as opposed to the one before that. The 15 wasn't much different than the 14, but this one is. But anyways, this kind of eyeshadow, the one that dries down, I'm gonna put a little bit more actually. This is gonna create a barrier so we won't have staining. And then you know what? Let's go ahead, because I'm going to do it here. Let's go ahead and put it under here too. Yeah. All right, side of the brush, make sure it's nice and even. While I'm putting on my eyeshadow, I don't know if you know this, but it's Rose and Ben Beauty's 3-year anniversary. Thank you so much for letting us be here 3 years. We're here because of you. It's also Ben's birthday on Halloween, and then my birthday is the day after, November 1st. So we're over here celebrating, okay? And we're celebrating with sets. There's even more sets than this. I'm gonna give you a link, but I just took a quick screenshot, and you know what? If I didn't already have these daggone brushes, this would be what I would want for the holidays. So that's also a good idea. Just wanted to let you know really quickly. We're just really excited. Thank you for being here, and thank you for 3 years of Rosamond Beauty. We're gonna need an E28. This is a very classic eyeshadow shape. It is eyeshadow brush shape, but we have a very unique blend of fibers. You're not gonna find this blend anywhere else. And also, that blend of fibers lends itself to the technique that we do every single day. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start with, I'm trying to think how I wanna start this. Let's go ahead and take some of this, take it on the side of the brush, and I'm already gonna start to transition. So we're gonna go a little bit lighter with this one. We're gonna focus most of it in the socket for right now, and then kind of push it up towards, oh, it's already so much fun. I'm already having a blast. But I love to use this one because it's so flat. So this one is a little bit flatter, which lends itself to the tapping technique that we do. And then it's not quite as long, because I did think about, long in terms of the fibers here. All of the handles are longer, and that is because I like to hold them further back. You just get really nice even pressure that way, and even pressure means even blend. I don't know if y'all have ever seen calligraphy, but that's kind of the idea. All right, this looks so much fun, and y'all are looking at this like, no, it's not, Rose, but this is Feral Monday. We're here to have fun. And this is going to be our first transition that we're laying down. God, I love this camera. Get into all them freckles. It makes me so happy. I feel like the eyeshadow is even showing up more vividly. Just use that side. Look at how nicely that lays down. And I don't have my spring chicken lids. I'm turning 36. I'm so excited. I love my birthday still. I got so excited about the camera, the look, everything, that I forgot to tell you what palette this is. I think this is my favorite, more feral palette. I reach for this one quite a bit, and I'm gonna link it, tag it for you right there. Strange and Unusual. Isn't that cute? Kind of sums me up. Now, we're gonna wipe this off just a little bit. Sheila is really excited for this red. She said, please decorate me with some more red. All right, now we're gonna start to add a little bit of depth. So what we're gonna do, instead of the side of the brush, if we want a little bit more precision, we're gonna grab it on the tip of the brush. And this is gonna be our next transition before the black. So we're really only going to use technically 4 colors. One, I'm gonna have to go reach for just kind of a classic white shimmer to create that, oh, that's so good. I'm sorry, I'm speechless. But to create that shimmery red liner, we'll use that and some micellar water, which absolutely works as a mixing medium. It is not, one thing we don't do here is things that don't work, because can you imagine me telling you to do something and then it doesn't work? That's not what friends do. Now, what works with makeup? That's gonna be a little different. That's why I always try to explain the climate I live in, what I'm doing, all of that. So we all are going to like different makeup, but I'll never teach you a technique that is just for views. Never. All right, let's just keep pushing this into the socket. I think that's one of the reasons I really love color theory, because it's so wild, but it's color theory. It works. Also, just really quickly want to tell you about the technique that I'm doing. You'll notice that I'm pressing, and I'm always pressing. And the reason why is because most of the time pigments, they don't love an intense fluff. They really don't like a back and forth. And I feel like that's something that, myself included, I was taught. It's something that I learned. And it could be very limiting. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work, but it can kind of be limiting to how we layer the eyeshadow. So I want you to do the other technique when you know it's working for you. But when you're not getting the results you're after, try this technique. Even though I'm using the tip of my brush, I'm still pressing that shadow on top and lightly into that very first transition. So it's not that I'm against swiping. When it works, but if it's not, try this. So I'm gonna have to grab a black eyeshadow, which I didn't want to, but this one has a lot of green sequin to it. So it's a matte, but then it's got a heavier sparkle there, which you can see. Good Lord, this camera, look at my fingertip, my goodness. So I'm gonna have to hop over to a different black eyeshadow, but it's Feral Monday. I feel less bad. Monday is the one day that what I call palette hop. All right, so what we're gonna do is we need this to be a little bit tacky. So we're just gonna grab a wispity wisp of our milk base. I feel so bad because I use this, I don't even know, every single day. And I'm tagging Milk makeup every single time. And I know that they are sick and tired of me, but I love this. And I just think it's a wonderful product. And it's one of the products you don't really see anybody talk about from them, but it's something that I use every single day. Say hello to D2. D is for double-ended, in case you're wondering. But yes, hi Milk. I'm sorry that I tag you, but come on. I just love this stuff. All right, so we have a nice tacky base, so our black eyeshadow will be very pigmented. Now, I'm gonna use my Natasha Denona Blackest Black. I don't even know if this is still available. It's actually one of my favorite black eyeshadows, but I love the Urban Decay black eyeshadow as well. And I like my eyeshadows to be in singles. Okay, I'm looking for a clean E27. So even though I tell you all the time, if you're gonna deal with black eyeshadow, small brush, okay? You just have to have it. It's gonna make a difference because black eyeshadow is like a black hole. It just wants to absorb everything. So let's keep it really close to our lash line. Look at how black this is. Okay, really close. And this is a smoky eye, so this is going to go a little bit creeping out of our socket. That's why we laid down that darker burgundy as a transition, but we're gonna go ahead and just take this all over our lid. Yes. I'm having the time of my life. So now we're gonna start to kind of go a little lighter handed as we get into the socket because we do want this to connect, but this is where we get to the black hole term. It will just come all the way up real fast and encompass everything. This is so cool. This was such a good idea. We're gonna fix all of this too. We're gonna soften that a little bit, but we're not there yet. You see how little fallout we're getting? We're getting some, but that wet base is really important. But this is also one of the reasons I always do my eyes first. You actually can control a lot more if you do eyes first. Nice. Don't want it to creep up too high over here towards the front. But now let's switch. Now we need the E28 again. And I'm gonna take the tip of the brush and I'm just gonna lean my head back a little bit and I'm gonna tap this into the burgundy, into the red. Just soften it a little bit. We don't want it to migrate. Soften over there. And remember, none of this even matters. We're gonna clean that up. And there'll be a wing over there. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit more of, remember this shade? This one. Grab it on the absolute center. And I'm just kinda pushing this in between the two just to soften and blend. Don't want it to dull the red, so we don't want it to creep up too much. Look at this blend already. Gosh, it's so pretty. Nice. Now, we're going to start to soften up here. We're still not going to worry too much about in here. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a powder foundation very close to our skin tone. And we don't want to take away or dull too much of that top part of the red. So that's why you're going to see me reach for the E29. Isn't it crazy that these are the brushes that I have been using for the past technically 4 years, but 3 years for the brand, this is them. This is all I use. When I think of it that way, it's pretty wild. But do you see how we're blending my skin tone into the very top part of the red? And the E29 is going to be the fluffiest out of all of the brushes. So it's our diffuser, it's our softener. It can go, oh, look at that difference. It can go on top of things and kind of add to without putting too much product there to dull. The next thing that we're going to need is a shimmer shadow. And we need one that has a base. Now, and it needs to be, I'm just going to quickly look here. Even something like this. This is a really good idea. Okay, something like this one right here. See how it's kind of just like a white silver? This is really important. It is. Okay, you see how there's still a base to it, but it's super, super shimmery. That's what we need. We just need the intense shimmer, but we want that shimmer to not have too much color. Base is good. So what I mean by base is, here, let me open and find the shadow. We need it to not be like this. Not that these aren't good. I just posted this on TikTok. But do you see how you can see that difference? See how when the light isn't hitting that one, this is the Patrick Ta one up here, that you can pretty much see my skin through there? We don't want to be able to see skin because we need intense shimmer to shift it red. Okay? And I feel like most of us have a shimmer like this somewhere. Think ColourPop, just think so many options. I know I have so many shimmers, and it doesn't have to be that white. You could go into a more white champagne. Gold might be a little too much, but a white gold. We're gonna grab some micellar water and we're gonna use this as our mixing medium. Since this doesn't have oil in it, what happens is it can activate eyeshadows. Okay, and by activate, it turns them into a liquid, and then it'll completely dry down. So then we don't have issues. See how it just activated that? All right, let's just go ahead and do a wing. Isn't that fun? I have done this so many times. I've had no issues. I just don't ever want you to feel like I would show you something that isn't actually going to work. Now, if you have Inglot Duraline already, then you can use that for sure. But I do understand that buying all of these products that we might not use all the time can get a little overwhelming. So this is a wonderful option. Ooh, Jean Bean is snoring. All right, so there we got our shimmer. We got our shimmer base. See it? Oh, I should have zoomed in. What am I even doing? I'm used to that old camera. There we go. Now we're just going to wipe the shimmer off a little bit. Just wiped it in the micellar water, back into the micellar water. And by the way, the micellar water is not going to hurt the eyeshadows. And then we're going to grab the red. Okay, I'm just going to grab a hair more micellar water. There we go. Now that's going to go on top, and we're just going to keep layering till we get the shimmer that we're after. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, y'all. Oh, that's good. Grab some more of that shimmer. I'm just gonna keep mixing. And then once it dries down, we're gonna be left with a shimmery red. How good does this look? And we just made do with what we already had. Now we're gonna get our Texas R. Let's clean this up. Oh, that's so good. Then we're gonna throw on some lashes, but then I gotta go eat cereal. We're gonna finish the face completely, of course. But listen, I get hungry about right now. And today I'm having Kix. I'm very excited. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, that looks so good. And even though most of us might not wear this red-black combo, what we can learn is how to make our own shimmer line. So imagine this liner, but you did it with bronze. Amazing. We're doing Lily Lashes in Dream Chaser. Don't be frightened, it's not a spider. I love these lashes. These have truly changed the way that I'm able to do my makeup and take makeup off because I don't get lash glue buildup. And I can just throw these on. So So easy. Okay, let them get warmed up there. Ooh, I like these. And I'm gonna push them down a little bit more to hide the lash band and everything, and then you'll be able to see the red again more. I thought these were perfect. Do we really need to take a bath right now? Jean thinks that we have to take a bath. Okay, now we start to clamp. I swear these daggum animals, they know that I'm about to go eat cereal. They know what time it is. And if you don't have lash applicators, I highly recommend them. You can get them on Amazon. Just look for this shape. They're usually longer. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, the cat grooming noises. I will say I miss them so much when I travel. They're such a joy to me. Now before I go grab my cereal, I'm gonna grab my NYX Beetlejuice liner. I hope y'all got this because I love it. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of depth right through here to kind of continue that lash. This makes a really big difference. Even though it's so subtle, it just, it kind of keeps that flow going. Okay, I'm gonna go eat kicks and I will be back. Now I'm back and the kicks were delightful, but the thing I'm thinking about is that there is a red waterline and that's gonna be harder. And the reason why is because once we get to kind of this wet part of the eye, the micellar water mixture would go in there. And since it stays wet, it kind of stays activated. So we might have to look into getting a red liner for here. There's really no way around it. Yes. So I have a pencil here that I never use on my lips. I talk about this a lot because this one you can use on lips and eyes, but I talk about this a lot. I just want y'all to be careful. If you don't have the luxury of having more than one, what you could do is you could dip this in alcohol, sharpen it, and then dip it one more time in rubbing alcohol. I just want to take care of y'all. Makeup can get real grimy. Our little art supplies. All right, so I got it warmed up and then this is going to go on our waterline. It's going to look a lot like the picture. Nice. Fun. I mean, it is spooky week. Isn't that fun that Ben's birthday's on Halloween and mine's the next day? So I always wanted my birthday to be on Halloween. I don't know why. When you're a little kid, you're just like, oh, Halloween, it's fun, candy. But then I met him and his is on Halloween. So I you know what? I think I'm gonna take his. Now we're gonna do this. Remember this? I fell in love. I fear it's fantastic. But listen, Dior, not that they listen to me. I'm gonna tag them. So there's not enough shades, but there's also not enough in between shades. So I feel that there's a gap between each shade. So we need to work on that. And then of course a shade extension. So here's what I'm talking about. I did buy 2 shades. You should never ever have to buy 2 shades. You should not. Let's not act like that's feasible. But I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, so here's 2CR and that one is a hair too light. And then we have 3.5 neutral and this one's a hair too dark. But then when I mix them, it's perfect. We shouldn't have to buy 2. But here I am. That being said, the formula reminds me, remember the Tom Ford stick that I used to use all the time? I feel like it's better. It's not as emollient. And emollient can mean wet. So I think that this one is going to work for more skin tones. Remember, I'm balanced to dry, and this is just get out of your tentacle. It's delightful. The formula is just fantastic. And do you see how little we had there? I'm just going to move that around with my C42. We're going to put a little bit more, but it just goes to show you that you don't even need as much with the C42. All right, so I'm going to do the dark one. Do some more of the light one, then we'll work them together. I can't reiterate enough that if you can't find your perfect shade, let's just wait, because I know they're going to release more shades. Jean, the snorts, I know that they will. It's so interesting because I've worn this, and we did this last week. We talked about color theory, but how that red is making this look very, very yellow. It really helps you understand how one of the reasons we don't like branching out and trying different eye colors, even greens and purples and blues, you know, not red. I know red's very spooky. To some, not me. I feel beautiful. But what I'm saying is color theory really plays a part on how things look. And then years ago, had I done this, I would have wiped this off at this point because I would have said, this looks horrible. But it's about following through and understanding that color theory. So the black eyeshadow is going to pull a bunch of the blue and purple under here, so we definitely need corrector. This is my fave. If this is not in your cart right now, I highly recommend that you check it out for the Sephora sale. Delightful. So let's grab our D2, and then I'm just going to even this out, take it in here, push a little bit on top of that red. Woo, look at that melt. And then we're taking it pretty far in here because that black tends to want to really pull out darker tones in there. So we definitely want to put it through there, put it through here, and then we'll put concealer on top of this because this is a little too, see how it's a little too orange? This is definitely still a corrector for me. I fear that Gene is trying to take another bath. He doesn't think he's clean enough. So the bath is bath number 2. I don't even know what bath he's on, honestly. At least we know he's clean. Let's go a little bit more full coverage. This one is definitely going to look yellow right now, but we'll be okay. But I love this concealer. This is the Jouer Essential, I forget the name of it. Yes, Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer. I was on the right track. I love this one. If you're wanting coverage, this one. And then you can even use less powder with this one from the way that it dries down. So good. That being said, it is a little too yellow. I'm so excited. You know, so I don't want y'all to think that this is, it's not just a collab with me, it's a founder collab. So Deepica and we're actually doing a live tonight, which I'll set a timer later. We are both founders. We're both from Houston, Texas, and we wanted a shade that we could both wear. So it's really not, it's not my collab, it's our collab and our brand's collab. It's so cool. So not only am I going to use this as my blush here in a second, I'm actually going to use a very small amount. This is the D1. And I'm going to kind of really pink up, I should say red up, this concealer. Because right now it is too yellow, and I can just add a little bit of red and it'll darken it and take it away from being so yellow. And I'm doing this very gradually. Isn't that cool? Literally. Gee, please. The people don't want to hear your goblin noises. I love makeup. I love it so much. And I love the idea of this red blush being not only so universal for just about anyone, it's very useful. By the way, here's one of the samples, one of the final samples. Getting the color just right for y'all. It's just, I never want to get rid of this. I know it's obviously going to expire, but this is just so near and dear to my heart. This is so special. And I just know that y'all are going to love it. And then, of course, beautiful final packaging. I get this little tiny little gremlin. This is my gremlin packaging. It's for gremlins. Me. All right, let's finish this side. Just grabbing some more of the red blush. Grab and blossom. I'm so used to saying red blush because I couldn't say it for so long. Sorry. Nice. And then I'll just take the other end of the D2 and just soften these edges. And then we're also going to use it as blush, but we're not quite there yet. Almost. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pop this on. I do want you to know that you're fine. I feel like this applicator is really nice to kind of layer this on. And it's definitely buildable. I'm going to put on quite a bit because this is more of a spooky season look. Sarah didn't tell me that I couldn't make the rest of it a little bit more wild. Love you, Sarah. But if you want to build it up even more than this, it absolutely can. But I also wanted a shade, of course, buildable for more skin tones, but I wanted one that I could kind of work with, kind of do the little fun color theory moments that I like to do. So you need something buildable and not just full pigment right away. Although you can see that it is, here, I'll put it on the back of my hand. It can be quite pigmented. Look at the stretch. She's still going. And I also wanted something that was just, you know how much I love a thin texture. If you want thin. But that being said, the way that, of course, the C41 was right there with this the whole time. I wanted a formula that just truly paired perfectly with the C41, because I know a lot of you might already have the C41. Thank you so much. But I just feel that these two together, it's just, it doesn't really get better. Really, for me at least, I love. So I'm gonna go back to using these because I love how they're a bronzer. It's right in between bronzer and contour. And I don't know if you know this, but you can get these at Ulta online. I wish 𝗕𝗂𝘂 was actually in Ulta. I stay just so upset about how much I love 𝗕𝗂𝘂, but it's so hard because they do have a new store now in the US, in Queens, New York. I actually did get to go. But the fact that we can't go in and play with it here, it's very sad. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to a 𝗕𝗂𝘂 store, but it's probably one of the most fun makeup stores that I've ever been into in my entire makeup life. But for now, if you're wanting kind of a bronzer situation, I love these, and they are on the Ulta website. I haven't filmed with this yet, but if you have brown eyes and you're already gonna go get that, go get this shade from Kiko Milano. This is one of the water shadows, and this is one of those really complimentary colors with brown eyes. We're gonna do a look with it, but I already know that this is gonna be such a wearable shade that the moment I post it, everybody's gonna want it that has brown eyes. I promise this, I'm not misdirecting you or trying to cause hype, but if you're already kind of thinking about getting some things from Kiko Milano and you have brown eyes or green eyes, this shade, I don't want to swatch it yet. I had another one, but I want to film this one. So, fine. I don't want to mess it up too much. I know I already dug in it a little bit. That was an accident. But this color is going to be just absolute delightfulness. It's going to make your eyes glow. I'm excited for it if you can't tell. Now, let's get some powder on this face. Where did you go, Sheila? Okay, there's Sheila. I'm going to use my Mario powder, Neutral Peach. I love this powder. It's obviously not pink like the Givenchy, but I love everything else that it does. C32, make sure we're nice and melted. And then we're just gonna go ahead and set. Really work it around fine lines. Look at that blur. And the blush is just so pretty. And then I'm gonna just press a little bit out here. That kind of blurs too. And then I'll just set the rest of my face. Remember that Makeup Forever pencil that's on our waterline? I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out of the waterline, just a hair. And then we'll do a really thin, I'm gonna try to do a thin layer of, not layer, thin line. This does take a hair concentration. If I wanna keep both eyes. And if you want the most precision, I have to sell you the brush. I'm turning into a car salesman, but with these daggum brushes. That's okay. You know my intentions are true, because I truly did design these with a lot of love and care, but I don't want fallout, and I also want quite a bit of precision. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab gel liner. This is just MAC gel liner on an E26. And I know a lot of you are looking at me thinking, Rose, ma'am, you have a lot of stability. You do this all the time. a liner brush like this, a bent liner brush, okay? This is how I got so steady. I learned to do liner with this type of brush and gel liner. So I know it feels intimidating because there's 2 products involved. This is how you get control. This is how you get good. And you can get this entire trio right here, the one I'm using right now. You've seen me use this one today, and then you've definitely seen me use the E27. 3 brushes, $30. A steal. Now I did get a little wild, and I accidentally did a bird beak. I always find it's just so easy to do a bird beak with this E26, but I'm going to show you kind of a little trick. I know that my inner corners are pretty exposed, but if yours aren't, you could just take a brush and lift the eye. You can just kind of pull it this way or back this way, and that's how you get more exposure to your inner corner to continue to draw that on. And then as the gel dries, I'm still not going to have any fallout, but I'm just kind of softening and smudging the line. And then we're about to add some mascara. You know, at 36, I didn't think I would have a heart stamp this close to me to match the picture, but I do. And I love that for me. I really do. Okay, so let's just put it right here. Perfect. I do see that it kind of transferred there, but that's a learning moment for everyone. Tiniest amount of micellar water. I have to talk through my teeth because that's how tiny this amount is going to be. Okay. Don't be frightened. Nothing to be frightened about. I know we got our makeup done, but we can fix it. There we go. And we can kind of correct that too. All right, we're good. Same brush, and I just grabbed some concealer. Let's go around it. Now, the thing that I am gonna do is I'm actually gonna grab, that's the concealer. I'm gonna grab a hair of my peach corrector. Just a hair. And then it'll help cancel out any kind of black that we couldn't quite get away or get off. Look at that. And then we're just gonna top it with powder foundation to make sure it's nice and flat on the skin. It's such a small area. Don't be frightened. Now we just grab our powder foundation. This is why I feel a powder foundation is so important, because it fills in gaps and it's so pigmented that you can basically fix anything with it. All right, we're just gonna let that melt in. Grab our C31, melt around it. We're good to go. And since Halloween is actually this week, I'm doing black lip liner and red lip. I'm doing it. Stop me, Shmee. I'm so sorry. And then, to clean up and even fade a little bit over here, micellar water in a C30. Fun, right? I feel like we forget that we can do lip art. And let me tell you who we is. We is me. Then we're gonna grab another lip liner. This is also one of the MAC ones. This is 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝘁. Let me double check that, yes. All right, so now I'll just start to transition this. Gene Bean snoring. Let me sharpen this. We're gonna sharpen it, and that kind of cleans it. NARS sharpener, the best, y'all. The best. See, nice and clean now. So we can continue to blend it. Then let's put a really bright red in the center, but just a wispity wisp. Good Lord, kitty cat. Okay, and then we'll blend that with the E29. fun. I'm gonna add just a little bit more right to the center, so it's extra, extra bright. This was really, really fun to do. I hope that you like it, Sarah. You had a really good idea. And as you can see, I've been wearing this now since I don't even know, maybe an hour or two now. It's doing just fine. It does not move, I promise. I know I keep saying it, but I do see a lot of makeup ideas online, and I know that they look really, really fun and they get a lot of views, but they aren't necessarily helpful, or there's something that is really only fun in that moment. And while those videos are fun, it'd be great if we could state that. And that's just something that I won't do, because like I said, that would be like me telling my very close friend, hey, this works. They try it and then it doesn't work. Well, I'm gonna have to face that very close friend. I hope that y'all enjoyed this tutorial. I love you so much, Sarah. Thank you for the really fun idea. And I'm sorry it took me so long, but traveling. You know what? I don't have to travel for a little while. Let's not jinx it. Let's not jinx it, because I want to stay home and I want to play in my makeup room with all of you. I love you so much. We're celebrating all week. Birthdays, Rose and Ben Beauty anniversary, all those bundles. So, I mean, if you're in the market for some brushes, I know I'm really proud of these, and I'm gonna yap just a little bit more as the days go on, because I'm really proud of them. To think what's really making me think about it is that these are the only brushes that I've used for 4 years, and that's wild. That's wild to think about. I love them with all of my heart. They're wonderful. All right, my friends, I love you the most, and I'll see you tonight.